The region of Xanthi is an unlimited source of natural wealth and beauty, blending everything in perfect harmony and balance: mountains, seas, rivers and beaches. The area of Stavroupoli and Komnina lies on the mountains. Stavroupoli is a city built on a slope near Nestos River and is at the crossroads connecting Xanthi to the east with Drama to the west, Kavala to the south and Bulgaria to the north. Within 5 kilometers of Stavroupoli, in Komnina, lies the most impressively preserved Macedonian tomb of the ones discovered in Thrace to date. It is an underground tomb consisting of a hallway and a chamber that are covered by arches. Excavations occasionally take place in the surrounding area in attempts to reveal more buried ancient settlements. The valley of Nestos area is filled with ruins of ancient fortresses that reveal its historical value. The Kaliva fortress, the most important of the ruined fortresses, lies at the top of the Kales hill at an altitude of 627 meters, 4 kilometers to the southeast of the abandoned village of Kaliva. The fortress was built by Philippos II circa 340 BC, and the building's main gate is called the Priapus Gate, the god of fertility, guardian of the vines and gardens, named after the god's relief found near it. Haidou, also known as Erymanthos, is a mountain close to the Greek-Bulgarian border and is part of the Kula Mountains in central Rhodos. The highest peak of the mountain is Giftokastro at 1,828 meters. The forests of Haidou consist of centenarian oaks of more than 30 meters height, along with pines, firs, spruces, etc. Livaditis waterfall is also found in the area and is the largest waterfall in the Balkans. After hiking a beautiful trail, visitors can enjoy the unique spectacle of the waterfall plummeting from a height of about 60 meters. Nestos River, or River of Life, as people who visit it call it, challenges us to follow it throughout its course. The part of the river from Stavroupoli to Toxotes is an area of outstanding beauty, with dense trees, caves, sandy beaches and rich wildlife. Nestos Delta is formed where the river meets the sea, a magical wetland with rich flora and fauna, and the great forest, Kodja Orman, which still holds the title of the most beautiful riverine forest in Europe. The wetland in the Nestos Delta is linked to the Vistonida Lagoon, whose wetland is also protected by the International Ramsar Convention, an important wetland of great ecological and natural beauty, whose brackish waters harbor 37 fish species and 326 bird species. It is the ideal place for bird-watching enthusiasts in a dreamlike scenery. Southeast of the lake is where the Lafris and Lafruda lagoons are, as well as the picturesque harbor of Porto Lagos, full of fishing boats, home of the fishing cooperative. The woods near the harbor of Porto Lagos are home to a mixed colony of herons, while the field of St. Nicholas is a reference point in the region. The monastery of St. Nicholas is built on a reef inside the Porto Lagos lagoon and is connected to the mainland via a picturesque wooden bridge. Also connected via a wooden bridge is a second aisle where the chapel of Panagia Pantanassa is, in which a copy of the miracle icon of Panagia is kept. A small fraternity coming from the Vatopedi monastery lives in the monastery. The scenery is magical and gathers many visitors and pilgrims. Abdera, home of ancient times great philosopher Democritus, is 25 kilometers away from the city of Xanthi. Abdera was one of the most important cities of the Aegean Sea and was founded in mid-7th century BC by settlers from Clazomenae. In the archaeological site of Abdera, visitors can admire part of the main city of Abdera from the archaic, classical, Hellenistic and Roman period, which so far has been revealed and spreads over an area of 3,000 acres. The Abdera Archaeological Museum is located in the center of Abdera and features rich exhibits from items found in the city and cemetery of ancient Abdera. The exhibits date from the 7th century BC to the 13th century AD and are presented in three main sections: public life, private life, and burial customs, which are subsequently divided into smaller thematic groups. The museum has a strong educational aspect, and its main goal is to satisfy even the most demanding visitor. The old town of Xanthi, built in the northern part of the modern city, right on the south slope of the mountain, is actually an outdoors museum. Simple paved roads and buildings of different styles and techniques form a scenery coming from another era. Old Xanthi was declared a protected settlement by presidential decree in 1976. This resulted in more than 1,200 listed buildings standing today in the city, out of which more than 80 have been declared historical monuments or works of art by the Ministry of Culture for their rich architectural features. On the outskirts of the city of Xanthi, the tobacco warehouses are preserved in a very good condition and are great samples of industrial building architecture of the late 19th century, while beaconing the economic prosperity of the city during that time. During the 19th and 20th century, Xanthi was well known for its exceptional tobacco, also known as basma. The tobacco trade flourished during this period, and this is when many tobacco warehouses were built. The Ministry of Culture has declared more than 15 tobacco warehouses, as well as 2 warehouse complexes historical monuments. Our last stop for this journey in the Xanthi region is the Panagia Kalamus and Panagia Archangeliotis monasteries, lying in a hill north of the city of Xanthi. The Panagia Kalamus monastery is built at an altitude of 170 meters, and its name, according to tradition, comes from a miracle icon of Panagia found within the reeds of the Kosinthos river bank. The monastery is likely to have been built around the 11th century. Following the Asia Minor catastrophe, the monastery gave its assets to help the refugees. The monastery relics were removed from the Bulgarians and got moved to Sofia. Located in a wonderful spot on the outskirts of the Rhodope massif northeast of Xanthi, overlooking the plain of Xanthi, stands the monastery of Panagia Archangeliotica. It was likely named after the icon of Panagia surrounded by the archangels, which is kept in the monastery. The monastery was likely founded in the Byzantine period, but there is no sufficient information about it. The east wing of the monastery houses the Ecclesiastical Museum of the Holy Metropolis of Xanthi and Territorial. It features a collection of artifacts dating from the end of the Byzantine period until the early 20th century.